Hello and welcome. The latest episode of Beer and Bollocks. There, I've said it. To any of you who've not been in one of these sessions before, I don't intend to offend anybody. If you find yourself offended by anything I say, which you shouldn't, then it's a you problem, not a me problem. So you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror if you find any of this stuff offensive. It's mere observations from my perspective. It's not my opinions, it's just observations. I'm not going to go into anything political. I'll just have a discussion about life, the way it is, and review some very, very, very fine ales. So, Nigel, one of my followers, has very incredibly kindly sent me an array of ales, some of his favourites. And well, my mouth's watering already, I'll be honest. So thanks, Nigel, for that. Much appreciated. I mean, many people send me gifts, and I can't call every single one of you out individually. It just so happened that Nigel sent this lot over to me, and I was in the right frame of mind to have one of these videos. So, do you know what? Let's do it. Let's have a fallen angel. So I'm going to put I brought my right glasses in to read this now, because these are disgusting, because I've been painting in the workshop today. Right, okay, fallen angel. It says here, this is from the Church End Brewery, established 1994. It's a pale bitter, it's 5%. Ooh, half a litre. And it says on the back, Church End Brewery, Church House Classics, reviewing Church End Brewery, started life in an old coffin shop in 1994. Since then, we've gained a reputation for brewing some of the UK's finest real ales. Our philosophy only allows the use of top quality raw materials and the highest craft standards. Fantastic. We also create many award-winning cask-conditioned beers, which can be sampled in our on-site tap room at the George and Dragon, Stoke Golding. At the George and Dragon in Stoke Golding, at the Dragon in Worcester, at beer festivals, and over 300 free houses across the UK. It says on the back here, a refreshing golden ale that delivers rich malt and hop flavours with a crisp hop finish. Best served slightly cool, 12 Celsius, store upright. Right, okay. So adult themes on this video. So if you're not an adult, or you don't identify as an adult, then I'm sorry you can't watch this. Right, let's try this first and foremost. Are you ready? That's nice. It's got a sharp aftertaste. It's very hoppy. Doesn't taste particularly strong, but at 5% it's one of the stronger ales out there. Certainly not a session ale. I like it. So this is from the Church End Brewery, Bridge Lane, Nuneaton, Warwickshire. churchendbrewery.co.uk. Right, fantastic. That's really nice. Yes, Fallen Angel gets a thumbs up from Richard. Right, let's take those glasses off now, because they're going to irritate me, because they're good for reading, but they're crap for anything else. Let's see if we can clean these up a little bit. I have come straight from work, and I love my job. Working for myself, I should have done it years and years and years ago, but that's the first burp of the evening as well. Right, so I've got a few questions that have been asked of me. And there is a common theme amongst these questions, unfortunately. And I'm inclined to agree with everything that everyone has sent me, emailed me. Where are we? Let's go for this one first and foremost. So the reason I decided to do this is because it's come to the forefront again, that it has been decided now that the countryside is racist. I don't particularly want to debate that. Clearly, I can say clearly it's incorrect, but people are entitled to their opinions, but I think that the root of this message, or the root of this conversation, is there's a lot of shit out there at the moment, and whether it's shit that's on the progressive liberal or shit that's on the extreme right wing, because let's face it, if you don't agree with everything that's being screamed in your face by a progressive liberal, then you're extreme right wing. So there's a lot of shit that is annoying people on all sides. And that anger and resentment is building up to such a level that society is being divided into a number of bite-sized chunks. And those bite-sized chunks then become incredibly easy to pick off, just to disperse, just to get rid of. You need to be aware of that. You need to be wary of it. I stopped following pretty much anything that the mainstream media was shoving out, polluting our brains with at the beginning of a recent episode. Let's say an episode that started in about 2020 and lasted, 18 months. Can't mention it because otherwise I'll end up with one of those stupid kind of like messages underneath this video saying, oh, factually correct, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. You've seen them around. Anyway, there was a pandemic. You can say that, can't you? I've completely lost where I was fucking going with that. It's the beer. So I stopped watching mainstream media because it was fucking depressing. And be it a newspaper or a broadcast on the radio or the television, good news doesn't sell stories, doesn't encourage you to watch. Bad news does. Bad news also keeps people frightened. People worry about bad news, and so people are more likely to do what they're bloody told if they're frightened. Oh, please tell us what to do. And we experienced that firsthand in its extreme in 2020, did we not? Absolutely. Majority of the country just sitting there waiting for Boris, Uncle Boris, good old Uncle Boris, to tell us what to do, while he was not having parties and not having cheese and wine and so forth. And I couldn't give a shit about that either. It's in the past. So the list of things that are really out there, I mean, even in the non-mainstream press, we're just getting this constant bombardment of let's laugh at EVs, let's laugh at the progressive left, let's laugh at whatever movement is in favour, be it Just Stop Oil, Black Lives Matter, anything. Let's poke fun at them because their views are incorrect. And when I say that, by the way, just to be sure, all lives matter. But I'm told then I'm a racist. No, you can't say that because that's racist. For fuck's sake. Well, I'm white and I'm middle-aged and I'm English, so obviously it's absolutely clear to the progressive left I could not be more racist if I tried, so therefore I'm not racist, but, I don't give a shit.
No.
That was a quick break, unfortunately. Unfortunately, my wife turned up, asked me if I got what I'd done with all the beers, and then my son called me. He's had a shit day at work, and I'm just saying, I've moved. So, so I was talking about shit that's just out there to make you angry. And there's many factions. Sorry, I've popped an eardrum, which is why I keep sniffing. Sorry about this, folks. There's lots of things out there to be angry about. Sorry, that you could be angry about. Let's put it into perspective. You don't have to be angry. There is no rule for you to be angry about anything. And this is the trick, you see. And when you start looking at some of these protesters, the orange protesters in London, they get incredibly angry. They start screeching about, have you not heard about? Yes, I have. And then they can't follow it up. They've been given a narrative, but nothing to back it up. And there's other groups as well. I'm not going to mention other groups because it's just going to end up negative, and I don't need negative. I really don't. This beer's fucking good, though. Fallen Angel, I'm still on it. Right, we're down to the last quarter, so we'll open another one in a second. We'll see where we go with that. So amongst the things that I've been asked my opinion on, it's been predominantly around the liberal, progressive liberal left wing, left facing, which seems to be old people, white, who've had some sort of white guilt, white shame instilled in them, and I'll come back to this in a second, or students. My three sons went through university, one Oxford, two Birmingham University. Not exactly crap universities. All three came out with some fairly radical ideas. And within a year and a half of leaving university, they've all actually kind of backed away from those ideas and realised what utter twats they must have looked, I believe. And I was very gentle with my lads when they went through university, but I was in the pub last night and there was some there was a quiz, and there was a tie break, and one of the chaps turned up with a jumper with a rainbow on it and the word woke and my life and blah 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 and etc etc, and the landlord said, "Still at university then?" And that just fucking sums it up, doesn't it? It really does. What is the education system in this country doing to our brightest young people, the people that are going to be looking after this country in the future? Because the way I see it, it's all turning to shit. Absolutely turning to shit. Now, if it was just one person or two people, or let's say 5% of the population of a university, fantastic. You need diversity. But when it's like 95% and there is no other viewpoint other than theirs, or you are extreme right wing, then, you know, it becomes that you start to think there's something wrong here. There is something going wrong. There's a narrative. There's something in the background. And I said in one of my previous videos about the education system that my lads, when they were going through grammar school, I'm lucky enough to live in Buckinghamshire, and my lads are lucky enough to be bright, so they passed their 11 plus and went through a state-funded grammar school. We need more of them. We need to filter out the brightest people. Why? Why would you want to do it? There's nothing in this fucking country anymore. That's depressing, you see. Anyway, Fallen Angel. We're going to go... I know which one I'm going to choose next. I think you can see it already. So, education is at absolute fucking rock bottom. We've now got people with no fucking experience at life whatsoever dictating what people that have got a world of experience at life should be doing with their lives. And those people that have got a world of experience generally know, or generally think, well, it's only 5%. So what we'll do is we'll shut up and we'll let them carry on and they will just go away. Because that's what we do. And then the problem is, it's not 5%, it's 95 fucking percent. So what do you do? Do you wait for them, like my lads, do you wait for them to get into the real world and be told by the rest of society, lads, you're a little bit off the beaten path here? Or is something going to change? Is something going to change radically? And is there a massive silent majority that is going to be kicking back fairly soon? There's people on the fringes of the silent majority who do stand up and do walk into the middle of a march in London waving a Union flag. And do you know what? They get fucking arrested for it. I'm sure they did. I'm not sure. I wonder if they did more than just walking through with a Union flag through a parade. Why can't you? You can call for slaughter of an entire race and not have any charge against you whatsoever. But you cannot carry your own national flag down a street in your own country without risking arrest. Fallen angel. Are we at the end of time? Well, we're almost at the end of this beer. I'm going to let that go down. Church End Brewery. That was a good one. That was a thumbs up. I really enjoyed that. Thank you. So, what then happens if you don't follow the message being pushed by students and little old ladies who are screeching about their goldfish in the pond in the garden have boiled to death? Well, if you don't agree with them, then you end up being cancelled. And we see it constantly. We're seeing it not necessarily on the mainstream media, but I don't do the mainstream media bit. But you only have to look at, like, there's a couple of major news channels which operate on YouTube, which you can all find. Sky News Australia was quite amusing. There's some amusing segments on that. Talk TV, some amusing segments on that. And then you've got GB News, where they sacked the best people that were on it. Although, yeah, they sacked. It's so you got the news channels there, and I don't even know where I'm going with this now. I really don't. What I'm trying to do here is to dance around the problem without actually saying outright what the fucking problem is, because I don't really want to. And the real crux of the problem is that the left swinging side of society has developed into somewhat, in my view, my personal opinion, of a cult. And that cult now has such power and such influence that the Metropolitan Police allow them to do what they wish and arrest people that dare not to conform with those particular protests. We end up with calls for genocide on London streets. We have got a mass, and I mean mass influx of illegal immigrants. I'm not against immigration. The whole fucking country is made up of immigrants over the last 2,000 years. We're all bloody immigrants. But at the moment, we have got a mass influx of fighting age young men who do not speak the language. Maybe they'll learn it. I doubt it. For some reason. Can't work it out. There's an agenda, and I cannot figure it out. It's fucked up. Right, now, on that note, we're now going to go for this particular ale here. This is called What the Fox Had. Very, very. This is also a Church End Brewery ale. Golden ale. Change my glasses. Oh, dear. What's it say? It's a 4.2. Golden ale. I've already read the narrative about church. So what I do is full flavour golden beer with a delicate fruity hop flavour and aroma. Best served slightly cool, 12 Celsius. Store upright. Well, I'm upright. So if you laid the bottle down on its side, you could drink it because you're upright. There you go. Right, take these glasses off again. Ha 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 ha. Do you like my bottle opener? Right, here we go. What the Fox Hat? Ooh. Got to let it. The flavours are flooding through my mouth on this. That is really, really unusual. That is delicious. That started out with almost the sharpness of the Fallen Angel. Not quite, though. It's very, very hoppy. But then it mellowed, which is why I was silent. And then it ends up with almost, not quite, a sweet aftertaste. It's not sweet. It's not sickly. That's a nice burp, But even, I can tell you now, the burp even tastes good. It's like, dried apricot. When you eat a dried apricot, you get that taste. You get the tang when you first bite into it. It's like, almost like a dried apricot. It's really nice. Thanks, Nigel. Cheers, chap. I can understand why you like that one. What the fox hat? So we got on for enough about that. That's just what I find myself challenged with. There's enormous hypocrisy in the whole kind of thing as well. So we end up with the privileged child who's had her childhood stolen. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Again, I've lost my fucking train of thought now. Right, okay, let's so other organisation. Right, okay. So last week we had the Putin interview. Now, Tucker Carlson, American journalist, went over and interviewed Putin for 2 hours 20 minutes, and all the mainstream media has got to go on about is that it was a history lesson, which I thought was an interesting statement. Because I think that the first 35, maybe 40 minutes of the 2 hours and 20 minutes was a history lesson. But it was Putin justifying Russia's position in the Ukrainian situation. I'm going to get into a lot of fucking trouble for that, aren't I? What was interesting about it, I thought, was that whether you believe Putin or not, I couldn't trust him any further than I could throw Boris Johnson. And I don't trust Boris Johnson anywhere near as far as I could throw Putin. Whether you believe him or not, it's a different perspective on the East-West relationship that's been kicking around. Now, early 80s, I grew up in the whole Reagan-Gorbachev situation. I mean, we were being shown videos at school of hiding under the desk when the bomb hit, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de. It's really, really kind of like motivational shit. And I think that Tucker Carlson interview, for me, did more good to the East-West relationship than anything else in the last 40 years. And I'm 56 at the moment. In the last 40 years, so since I left school. Honestly, it was interesting because you can see that there is you can see that there's an alternative to the narrative that's being shoved out of the West with a narrative that's being shoved out from the East. Which bits you choose to believe is entirely up to you. But it's different. It's not all Russia. And it kind of made me think a little bit about my lads when they were at school. They were studying the Cuban Missile Crisis. And I said, oh, you should talk to your grandfather, my dad, about that. Because, he was alive during that period. I wasn't born until 67. They were like, crikey, Grandpops was around when the Cuban Missile Crisis was going on. And to be honest, that Cuban Missile Crisis for me father was like the 1980s was with the Gorbachev and Ronald Reagan situation for me. And for others that grew up in that, it was almost like the end of and we get into that situation again now. And, the lads were going through it all, and I was talking to them about odds and sods, and they were showing me their history books and stuff. And it suddenly dawned on me, hang about, we didn't know about that at the time. We didn't know that in exchange for Khrushchev, might be wrong there, Khrushchev pulling back the boats from Cuba, the Americans decided to decommission all the missile bases in Turkey Because that bit, you see, that bit was classified when I was at school. It's not anymore. So because it was classified, when we studied it, we saw it as a major US victory and a major stand down from the Russians. And then you start thinking, shit, the USA, they're fucking brilliant, aren't they? But actually, it wasn't true. Was it? No. No, it wasn't. So, what I found interesting about the mainstream media, we're rambling a bit there, what I found interesting about the mainstream media perspective on the Putin interview was that they were firmly of the opinion that Putin was just obsessed with history. But the mainstream media isn't. They don't want us to know history anymore. Because if people don't know what happened before, then people now can make up shit based on history that never happened. See what I mean? So I found that quite interesting. The Putin interview, I watched the whole damn thing. It was boring in places, it was quite interesting in places, and it was eye-opening in other places. Whether you're going to be able to ever fact-check it or not, I don't know. Absolutely hats off to Tucker Carlson for having the balls to do that interview, and hats off to Putin for actually doing it. Can you imagine the leader of the free world sitting for 2 hours and 20 minutes and talking? What the fox hat? So yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. Lots of international agreements appear to have been signed and then vetoed, and in almost every case, according to Mr. Putin, President Putin, almost every single case that impacted Russia. Interesting. And talking about history, when you start looking at the Ukraine situation, not a lot is mentioned of the situation prior to the current president of Ukraine. Not a lot is mentioned of the prior history in Ukraine, where they were bombing their own people, etc. No, that's that. So again, it kind of goes around. Let's keep what happened before silent. Let's just rub it away. Let's get rid of the statues. Let's get rid of all of the street names. Let's get rid of any history that doesn't suit a current narrative. And you can see it happening left, right and centre. So that annoys me. National Trust. What the fuck are you guys doing? I've been buying into the National Trust for 20-something years now. Cancel my fucking membership. It's run by wankers. Sorry. Right, okay. Enough of that. So then the other thing that's been quite big on my agenda, on my emails thing, is about these low emission zones, these clean air zones. And on paper, absolutely 100% agree. My mother died of lung cancer. She lived in North London during the smog period in the 1950s. Almost certainly contributed to her lung cancer that killed her. So I can understand, every fucking idiot out there can fully understand the need for clean air. So don't start going on about me being a flat earther about ULEZ or clean air zones. But two clean air zones that really I have experience of: Bristol. So they put a clean air zone in the middle of Bristol, and there are a number of major trunk routes that run through Bristol. Now I know you've got the M4 and you've got the M5, but there are major A roads that run through the middle of Bristol. And they put them on a clean air zone. And what they've actually done is that traffic that doesn't necessarily want to use the M4 or the M5 for one reason or another And certainly heavy traffic, if you get my drift, trucks, like HGVs and so forth, are now circling the clean air zone of Bristol, from my experiences, and driving through residential areas. The whole, I'm going to use my words carefully here, hypocrisy. Did I use that carefully? I think I did. The whole hypocrisy of ultra low emission zones, clean air zones, is that you are killing children by driving your car that passes the legal requirements to be on the roads in this country, but you are killing people in this country. Here's £12.50. Oh, that's great. Yeah, fuck 'em. You understand where I'm coming from? To me, it might seem like a fucking scam. I thought it was Mrs. coming back then. What the fuck's that? And then we've now got to the situation where, hearing on some of the motoring channels on YouTube, that EV owners are going to face increased parking charges in certain areas. And is this because there's too many of them now? A little bit like the famous go out and buy a diesel because everyone should be driving diesels. And then when everyone's got a diesel, you see, you're spawn of Satan. You need to pay more tax. Shit. So have we got to that point with EVs now? I need to kind of state, I don't need to, but I'm going to state my position on EVs. I think they're outstanding. I don't think they're the solution, though. I think they're outstanding. I think that, you know, the performance you get from an EV, no petrol vehicle could do. But they don't make the noises of a petrol vehicle. They don't have the soul of a petrol vehicle. They don't have the passion or the emotion. So for me, I probably wouldn't bother with EV, but I'm not anti-EV. I'm anti-EV net zero narrative. I just don't understand it. I don't understand we can ever achieve it. I don't understand that mining the materials for the EV, as I've discussed in the previous video, takes up enormous amounts of the Earth's resources and enormous amounts of fossil fuel to process. And yet, that someone gets in their EV and says, hey, look at me, I'm a green twat. Not all EV owners are green twats, by the way. So now I like EV, I like what they offer. I got quite excited in the very early days about potentially converting a Land Rover or a Range Rover to EV. But since then, the entire, and this is another part about making people angry, there is a divide that's been wedged in between those who like their internal combustion engines, be it petrol, diesel, whatever, LPG, and EV owners. And EV owners will even go to the point where they will say that a hybrid is not an EV. No, sorry, hybrid, that's diesel or petrol. It's a wedge. Wake up, folks. It's a wedge that they're driving between us to make us angry with each other, to divide us. Stop playing into their hands. Right, where are we? Education, we discussed that one. Oh, I saw a thing, it was on Instagram, and I'm trying to find it again, and if I do, I'll shove it in here. But it was about NASA did a study in the 1980s to pick the cream of the cream of people to work at NASA. And so they did a genius test of primary school children and found that there was like an 85 or 90% genius rate. And then they tested them again when they got to, let's say, 10 or 11 years old. That had dropped to 50%. By the time they got to school leaving age, that was down to about 5%. And I need to dig it out, because this is unverified until I do dig it out, and then I can fact check it. But the general suggestion from this particular study was that education is dumbing down, not making people stupid, but destroying creativity, destroying people's ability to work with a blank sheet of paper. And again, why? Climate. Can't mention the climate. Oh, that's one of the trigger words on YouTube. Sorry, can't mention the climate. Yes. And like I said earlier on, it's one of those things, and I know responsible, grown-up, educated people that they screech in my face. Have I not heard about the apocalypse? Despair. I despair. Divide and conquer. Yeah, we discussed that. Farming revolt. Here's a good one. Farming revolt. So this has been kicking off all over Europe. So my American visitors on the channel, maybe my Australian, other worldly supporters on the channel, may not necessarily know, because the mainstream media is not reporting it. But the EU has been held to ransom by farmers blocking up the main arteries in cities with their tractors and throwing, especially the French. The French are very good at kind of like striking and so forth, in such that they're very creative at it. So they filled the old gendarmerie with shit. Don't know why they chose on the gendarmerie. Maybe because it's a government office. Perhaps they should have gone to Strasbourg or into wherever Strasbourg moves to. The beer's good. I felt that was shit, but I guess it was already full. Ha! Joke. But yeah, there's been a farming revolt, and there's been a certain turn back from the and they have turned back on a couple of their policies, and the general consensus is all the farmers have won. No, you guys haven't. And it's moving now. It's moved into Wales, it's moved into Republic of Ireland, it's moving around. It's a growing campaign, and this is about the silent majority now are saying, do you know what, I'm fucked off with this. I am really fucked off with this. And so, what the fox hat? I like that. I'll choose one in a second. What have I written here? Ha! This is an amusing one. Someone pointed out to me that California is actually showing us our future. Because I believe that the governor of California has now insisted that from a certain point, no idea when, only electric vehicles will be allowed to use the road network, the road infrastructure. And they were talking about electric trucks. And this particular viewer was saying that there will be more or less like, there'll be a border from neighbouring states into California where the rest of America will deliver produce to that border, and then the electric trucks will turn up, load up the produce and deliver it throughout the state. Well, I think we can all see how that's going to go. We know. We can see it. You won't be allowed to charge your mobile phone up because the power will be needed to charge the trucks up. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And, oh, let's get another beer. Right, okay. We've got Old Hooky. I remember Hook Norton Old Hooky. I used to drink that. We've got Pure Star, Premium Amber Ale from the Sill Hill Brewery. Oh, we've got Purity, new lightweight, it says lightweight bottle. Okay, lightweight bottle. Doesn't seem any lighter than that one. 4.2, 4.3, 4.6. I think we can go for a Mag Goose. Let's go for a Mag Goose. Right, so Mag Goose, changing glasses. And I think after this one we're going to wrap up. So Mag Goose Pale Ale. 4.2%, sustainably brewed in Warwickshire. Well done. Great beer, real character. Excellent, looking forward to this. It's a bit more of a kind of confused label on the back. Pure Eco, great. Making a positive difference since 2005, brilliant. Crafted with a conscience in the heart of Warwickshire countryside, our new lightweight bottle is the latest initiative in our Pure Eco journey, removing just 50 grams of glass. Okay, that's why I didn't really detect it wasn't much weight. 50 grams, right, of glass in the bottle from each bottle reduces our carbon emissions by a staggering 163 tonnes per year, a reduction of 7.3% of our total CO. Well done. Sustainable approach to brewing every single day. This is a really, 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 I'm glad I picked this one. Award-winning Mag Goose is a zesty pale ale with a refreshing citrus fruit inspired by our own fearsome feathered friend. It's got goose shit in it. Oh, it's far worse than her bite. Sounds like my wife. No, that's the wrong way round. Except around mating season when it's best to stay inside for another well-earned beer. That's definitely my wife. Right, I'm going to give this a go. Sustainable living is what it's all about, folks. Sustainable living is not putting a bloody solar panel on your roof and driving a brand spanking new EV every 2 years. No. It's about keeping shit to a bare minimum and running old cars as long as you possibly can, and old washing machines, and old fridges, and old freezers, and old bottle openers. Right, let's give Mag Goose Pale Ale a go. You ready? Purity, do lightweight bottle. First thing I noticed, for some reason, the beer doesn't flow quite as neatly out of... I know I should pour it into a glass. Beer doesn't flow quite as neatly out of the neck of this one. It's a very orangey flavour. What's it say on the back again? Zesty pale ale. Citrus, yeah, so citrus. It's very, very orangey aftertaste. I quite like it. Why are we not refilling these bloody things, by the way? I'll come on to that in a second. Why are we not popping these back into a crate, sending them back to the brewers who wash them out, refill them? Can't have a bloody paper straw. Plastic straw. Paper straws are worse than plastic straw. Oh no, have I got it wrong? I don't know. Smoky. There's a big burp coming out in a minute. I've done almost half that bottle in one mouthful. I quite like it. It's really good. Right, changing glasses. Where do we get to? We got to... Oh, dear. That was a different comment. Oh, yeah. on this one here. So I just alluded it to them. Why are we not refilling bottles? So this is something that I was thinking about when I was down at the local co-op, and I bought a load of food. All of it was wrapped in non-recyclable plastic. It doesn't matter what they write. It could have the fucking triangle on the underside of it. It's not recyclable. Because when you lob it out in the recycle bin, they leave it. Well, they did down in Devon anyway. Anyway, so certain stuff is not easily recyclable. And all the food I was buying was either in a plastic bag or a rigid plastic container with a plastic film lid, or plastic this or plastic that, etc, etc, etc. You know exactly what I mean. And he gets to the counter and he says, "Can I have a bag?" And they sell you this bag for life, which is made out of fly shit, for want of a better word. And you have to buy 2 of them because you have to double bag it. Because you put 4 beers in one of those bags, they're going to end up on the floor. So where does this... We're going to ban plastic bags, but when you buy your pack of 8... What's the shit sausages that... Can't mention the shit sausages now because I just said shit sausages. So when you buy your packet of bacon, which is in a whacking great big plastic container, sealed, that you just throw, what's the fucking difference? Am I being nuts here? Is there a little bit of my brain, perhaps, that's gone? That it's okay to have plastic packaging around your food, but it's not okay to have a plastic bag around your food items. Maybe if they put Velcro on all the food, you could just like stick it all together and then strap a handle over the top and just walk off with it. That would make sense, wouldn't it? When I was a lad, not that long ago, okay, 50 years ago, I remember in Gloucester, we used to, if you saw a Tizer bottle, or and I can't remember the name of the lemonade we had back then in Gloucester, you found one of those bottles, you grabbed it, you picked it up as a kid, it was all you could do to get hold of that thing, because you'd then take it back up to the co-op outside our school. This is back when kids used to be able to walk to school rather than be delivered in a 37,000 litre, £8 million EV. No, they're not EVs. No, it wouldn't be 37,000. Oh no, 37,000 litres. That was the energy that was required to get all the rare earth minerals out of the ground to create the EV. Because all of that mining requires heavy duty diesel engines which run electric motors so they can get all of the crap. And then it needs to be ground. Rambling. But you then took it into the co-op and got 2p for it. Now Curly Whirly was 5p. 3 bottles, you got a Curly Whirly. Kids were taking the bottles back to co-op. Co-op were pushing them in racks, and they were being collected, taken back, cleaned, refilled. Where's that gone? Why is it gone? Milk used to be delivered by electric vehicles in reusable bottles. And we fucked up the planet? Kids, fucking wake up. Right. So that was that. And then, what did we put down here? Oh, that was all about history. Oh yeah, so something I saw, and it amused me, and it was almost like that was my popped eardrum. I just got to fix it every now and then. I need to go see a GP. I know. Good luck with that. There was a meme I saw, and it was ancients building the pyramids, and they were basically, the quote underneath was, "Oh my God, we've worked so hard on this project. Societies forever will remember us." And now we get half of society think, no, that was alien influence, and the other half is now saying, no, that was Tarsians, or whatever it is. Keep fucking with history, chaps. People won't know what's going on. I've not mentioned Prince Harry yet. He likes to get into everything, doesn't he? Yeah, the King's got cancer. Let's make it about Prince Harry. Bless you, Prince Harry, but you wanted to be off-grid. Please, go off-grid. If you don't want to be off-grid, I don't care. Just, oh. Right, what else have I put down here? Oh, let's finish on a funny... Fuck it. There's so much shit going on. So, right. Not work-related. Let's go on about holidays. So, my brother is... he's barely a year younger than me. I think 13 months, which is more than a year. So, again, don't let truth get in the way, Richard. And, lovely chap. But he got to about 17, and I was 18, because I'm 13 months older than him. And we decided we were going to do a holiday, but he didn't have any money because he was at college still. He was doing catering college. And we decided we were going to do this holiday, and the cheapest holiday I could find was a Nat Holidays coach trip from London, Victoria, to the south of France. Anyone remember Nat Holidays? It was an experience, is all I'm going to say. So, you get into... so you get into London, you get on this coach, and you think, oh, this is all right. Yeah, this will work. This is quite comfy. 24 hours later, you want to kill everyone on the fucking coach. It was a horrible fucking journey. But there was a couple of moments on the journey down which made me laugh. If a Nat Holidays coach happens to go past another Nat Holidays coach, and both of them are full of blokes, can you imagine what is likely to be filling every single window down each facing side of the coaches? Now, on our particular trip, there was a mother and her child sitting in the row in front of us. And I must apologise to you. I never ever got your name, but my brother chain smoked JPS all the way down there. Oh. Anyway, when we got to overtake this coach, Mother was all excited about, oh, look, there's another one of our coaches. Look, 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 look. And as we went past the coach, and there was an arse in every single fucking window, she's like, no, 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 look away, look away. And then we'd all had our arses out pressed against the window. It was one of those holidays, chaps. You're not allowed to do them anymore. They've been banned. No, 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 not allowed to do that anymore, because that's against that's racist. Or that's something. That's fucking Conrad. So we get down to the south of France, and we were not far from Cap d'Agde. And you folk that like to holiday without your clothes on, hats off to you. That's all you wear. There was the biggest naturist resort in Europe was just up the beach from us. And we were on the Marseille plage, which sounds very, very, very glamorous, but it was actually a mosquito-infested swamp. And they stuck a campsite with a load of shitty caravans in the middle of it. And the best thing we could do was to drink until the mosquito bites didn't hurt anymore, which is pretty much what we did for about a week and a half. And my brother met up with a couple of Glaswegians. One was Celtic, one was Rangers. And when they were pissed, they used to fight like cats. Honestly, they were knocking lumps out of each other. And you go and try and split them up. Oh, no, 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 we're all right. We do this all the time. Fair enough. We got robbed twice. I think we did get robbed twice. And then there was the pool machine in the local clubhouse that took I couldn't remember if it was a franc or 10 francs. I couldn't tell you now. My brain's not working because Mag Goose is nice. But you had to put a French franc coin into the machine. Bear in mind it's 1980s and not yesterday. But someone worked out you could use a 2p coin. Now, there was a racket in selling bags of 2p coins, because you can't imagine we'd have turned up at the south of France with a ton of 2p coins. No. Now, what you do is we were buying 2p coins at like 10p a go and using them to play pool and saving ourselves 80p. Proper old school racketeering. Good stuff it was. I seem to recall that we went onto the beach. We found a load of girls that showed vague interest in us, and we were in our teens, and we thought, oh, this is interesting. Don't understand them. Still don't understand them. But, you know, let's. They all suggested we ran into the sea naked, which, of course, then us first. So we all ran into the sea naked, and they burnt all our clothes. It didn't bother us, though. We just walked around the camp naked. I mean, we're next to a naked resort. It was a laugh. It was one of those holidays that I would never, ever, ever want to do ever again, nor would I recommend it to anybody that I knew. But I did it. Not only did I do it, I survived it. They had a drinking competition on the station. My brother decided he wanted to have a go at this drinking competition. But they had 6 buckets beside each of their stalls. And they were basically giving you watered down, gassy, extra gassy lager. And you had to neck a pint and see how long you could hold it down. And everyone was hurling. This pint goes down. It's not fucking staying in there. Why would you do it to yourself? There was one of the nights that we got robbed, and they kind of just go. I don't know. Maybe it's the local French. Maybe it was the other people on the campsite. I don't know. We got robbed 2 or 3 times we were there. And there was another load of Scots that were 2 or 3 caravans down from us, complained that they'd been robbed, but every single window on their caravan had been kicked out. It's just whole fucking thing was trashed. Absolutely fucked. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Oh my God. It was a dreadful holiday. It really was. Oh, we did a day trip to Roses, which used to be like a tax-free resort in Spain, way before the EU. Oh no, it's back in the common market days. My brother picked up a bottle of 140 vodka or something like that. And when we got back, we were sitting around the campsite watching the thieves breaking into everyone else's caravans. My brother and these 2 Glaswegians, between knocking 7 bells of shit out of each other, were working their way through the vodka. And I had been chain smoking, what are those little cigarillos called? It was coming in a little square tin. You'll remember, folks, if you used to smoke. Little square tin. I used to get 8 or 10 small cigars. They were like cigarette-shaped cigars. They were strong as fuck. The trouble is, I was smoking like they were cigarettes. My brother gave me half a bottle of this very strong vodka, but I squirted a can of Cura into him and necked it. And then much of the rest of the evening for me is waking up, gasping for breath because I've been smoking these fucking awful cigarillos, and absolute tunnel vision, in a blind panic, throwing up violently, not being able to move, completely incapacitated. Oh, well done, Richard. You've really done a good job here, chap. It's my first experience of alcohol poisoning. It's not a good one, chaps. Don't do it. And the next morning, once things started to calm down a little bit, I've got no recollection of it, was being woken up in the caravan by my brother frying in about 1 inch of vegetable fat a couple of rashers of bacon right by my face, saying, "You bastard, You fucking owe me one, is what he was saying to me. Oh, God, right. So I had to get out of the caravan because I was going to hurl. Honestly, there was nothing left to hurl. I felt dreadful. Anyway, I walked into the local community kind of centre of this horrible fucking campsite. And this chap walks up to me, and he had what could be best described as hot pants and tattoos as blokes up and down his arms. And incredibly, like a 1960s carry-on film camp accent. Oh, you're looking a lot better today, aren't you? I couldn't even do it. I wouldn't be allowed to. I'm sure I've been banned by now just for doing that. But yeah, my brother had gone and got the camp doctor out to assess me, and the camp doctor was in many ways. My brother's got me back a couple of times at Le Mans. I'll discuss those next time. But my brother, it just... Problem is, when you start having a few beers, you don't actually know when to completely stop. Now, I do now. But it took a couple of fairly, extensive alcohol poisoning episodes to sort that out. Anyway, enough of this bollocks. It's bollocks. I told you it'd be bollocks, didn't I? 3 beers, two and 2/3 beers in. So I'll bid you a good night. Thank you for getting to this end of the video. I really do appreciate it. It's been very silly, eye-opening. I'm sure I'm going to get banned for it. Whatever. Good night, chaps. Chapesses. Chapettes. Oh, by the way, I didn't say. My pronouns are, you work it out, and I identify as grumpy bastard.